Hey again, Curvies. Hello, 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 and welcome to Larger Curves. I hope you're doing excellent today, and I hope you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video. I was trying to do it in my robot voice because breakdancing in the robot. Yeah. Um, anyway. Today on Larger Curves, on your way in, smash the things, ring the things. You know how we do. Become part of the Curvy crew. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're having a fabulous afternoon. I hope you guys are ready for some fun. Now, we just finished a great finance video. Great. Shared lots of information with Candy Burris. Obviously, she knows a lot. Maybe you guys will listen to her. And I was able to show you some visuals so that we could put the 2 and 8 together and make it rain. Okay, so look, today we are looking at Raygun and how she's dissed. Okay, and it was a social experiment in hierarchy and appropriation. Let's look at what we're talking about. So you may or may not know that this year in the Paris Olympics, we had breakdancing enter the arena. And now breakdancing originated actually in Africa, but the actual term breakdancing originated in the 1960s, incorporating moves from sources. Breakdancing is largely improvisational. African Americans in the Bronx invented breakdancing. B-boy, B-girl breaking is a style of street dance originated by African Americans. It's actually part of our culture. African American culture is part of it. It's breakdancing. That's why they call them B-boys, because they were break boys, break girls from the boogie down Bronx, United States. But yeah, we, just like everything else, we invented it. Let's look. It was called breaking. The counterculture hip hop dance form, which emerged from Black and Latino communities in the Bronx, was born of people who would dance to break track, to a break track. The B and B boys stands for break, like I just said. Breaking has been a flourishing thing since the 60s when it started and 70s when it took off. So there are 4 pillars of hip hop: MCing, that's rapping; DJing, Vicky, that's the turntables; breakdancing, that's the B-boy; and graffiti art are the 4 pillars. That's street art. Now, so that's how it started. This is how it started. This is how it started. Okay. Okay. A whole culture. And this is how it's going. Now, I don't have the rights to this music, so I'm just going to let us hear a snippet so you can try to get the rhythm that she was going for on this, that this lady got to the Paris Olympics. Okay. She got to the Paris Olympics dancing like this. Yeah, her husband is too. We're getting into all of this, Candor. I have it all. Crazy. So I just wanted to start with where we came to. So that's what she did at the Olympics, you guys. Now, I'm not sure what that was, but they let her get all the way to the Olympics. And the first thing I thought when I saw it was, how did she get there? Ooh, that's spicy with the cashew. I love that. And it has those red peppers in there and it has the little cashews. Yes. Oh, Hong Kong sweet and sour. Nice. Ooh, I haven't had a good sweet and sour in so long. I haven't eaten Chinese food in like maybe 6 months. I'm just about due. But so she did that at the Olympics. And I was literally asking myself, like, how did that happen? Where she was able to even get to a point where she medaled. So I did a little research and I was like, I Googled how do the people even get to the Olympics? And there's different competitions in various countries around the world. And you have to go there and compete. And then you're decided on. And now the story has come out after Australia, after they saw that dance, and people were like, oh my gosh, they were laughing at the Raygun lady. They were like, this is a joke, right? This is a complete joke. And they were making fun of her online. So then Australia, the country that sent that lady there, came out and was like, oh, please stop bullying her, pretty much.
And I think that what has occurred on social media with trolls and keyboard warriors and taking those comments and giving them airtime has been really disappointing. She is the best breakdancer female that we have for Australia. I love Rachel, and I think that what has occurred on social media with trolls and keyboard warriors and taking those comments and giving them airtime has been really disappointing. She is the best breakdancer female that we have for Australia. I love Rachel, and I think that what has occurred...
Have a great bite with your mom at the Chinese restaurant. I hope you guys have a super good time over there. Yeah, it's clearly rigged, and we're going to see how. Where is that proof? So, is this it?
Okay guys, an important part about being a performer is being able to express yourself through movement, being able to move your body to convey a message, to get something across.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys.
It's being
So
able to express yourself through movement, being able to move your body.
we're getting to the freaking explanation. Here it comes, here it comes, here it go. This is where they think she got her moves from. This is where they think she got her moves from. This and her husband. Uh-huh. Yeah. So that's just one place they think she got her moves from. But when it came out that it was basically a social experiment, here we go.
Child, finding out that this was a social experiment by the breakdancing lady at the Olympics makes the story all the more funnier. Now, shout out to Tasty Quiche over on X. They wrote this tweet that said, so the breakdance lady from Australia was doing a social experiment talking about white access to breaking and social hierarchy. They go on to say she wrote a paper about it, and somehow she made it through the Olympics with all of her nonsense, which shows she was playing in our faces. Honey child, we got the paper, so let's go through it and see some of the nonsense that she was writing about. If you think the paper doesn't start with straight foolishness, you'd be absolutely incorrect. On this portion of the article, she says hip-hop culture is meritocracy. Meritocracy, which is a political term which means that the power held by the people who have the abilities. Baby, nothing about hip-hop culture has anything to do with ability. It is something that is just ingrained in you. She goes on to say, the more you participate in hip-hop culture, the more likely you will be considered authentic and win events and gain respect and authority within the scene. This is the part of the story where everyone was dubbed. At the beginning of this, she was talking about how her persona as B-girl, Raygun, is a personification. And she says, why would we make such a confession? Acknowledging the elephant in the room, such a confession goes against our understanding of the living and breathing of hip-hop. It affects our cred or credentials or our rep. She goes on to say, we might be tempted to position our double lives within hip-hop's long history of creating characters and personas. What? I got to read that back. She said, one might be tempted to position our double lives within hip-hop's long history of creating characters and personas to tell a story. She thinks that hip-hop is a personification of characters? See, this is how she ended up at the Olympics, friend. Then she makes this anecdote here and says, are we voyeurs, like watching in? Are we culturally appropriating hip-hop? Yes, girl. When we all saw this, we didn't know. We wasn't sure, friend. We wasn't ready. We was not ready for whatever this mess was. And y'all, it keeps going, because in this portion of her paper, she says that hip-hop has always been a space for young people, particularly those expressing disadvantages, to express themselves and gain a new reputation outside of how they've been described, which is true. Don't worry, she's about to have y'all dubbed. She continues and says, however, if commitment is the key contributor to authenticity, do those with the greatest privilege, education, and mobility have an easier means to be considered the most authentic? Somehow in this paper, she's basically saying that in order to be authentically hip-hop outside of Black culture, you need to have privilege, education, and mobility. Basically, in a nutshell, she writes this entire paper to talk about the disadvantages her, being an Australian woman, has been having getting into the hip-hop culture. She also talks about how much it cost her to travel to Europe and the United States to learn authentic ways of breakdancing. Then basically this step-by-step guide on how to become more authentic in our culture. Now here's the kicker. According to Tasty Quiche, they go on to say also the B folks, or the breakdance folks in her country, have been loud on social media talking about how they never heard about any tryouts or trials for the Olympics. So the real ones didn't even get a chance to compete. Finish out and say, this is many levels of complicity and dedication to making a mockery of a culture. Couldn't have said it better myself, friend.
You guys, isn't that crazy? A social experiment, and they stripped Jordan Childs of her medal for winning, and because the freaking judges didn't do their job, and because all the other stuff, and they're letting social experiments happen on their stage. Really? You guys, it gets worse. There's more. There's more. Where'd it go? Here we go. Shout out to No Bystanders.
The more we research this story, the more we find out. Because again, how did she get qualified for the Olympics? And why is her husband the coach? Now, we're probably down that rabbit hole was this tweet seen here. Shout out to Sarah Fields, but you can pause to read it. But this is not actually where the tea began. The tea began with a conversation that was happening within that tweet. Somebody by the name of V said, okay, I've got information that Aussie dance breaker Raygun, the woman with the bad dancing's husband, was the judge in the qualifying contest that got her through. If that's true, we need to inquire into the waste of taxpayer trash. Can anyone confirm? Now, somebody by the name of Papa Bear goes into grave detail, and this is where I got sucked in. So they said they got this from Reddit, and it said that there is no World Breakdancing Federation. You guys didn't know. Every single team has their own federation that has to go through the IOC, I believe. Now, the subreddit stated, or whatever the running qualifying process is, an IOC approaches the World Dance Sports Federation, which is primarily ballroom dancing organization. The Australian affiliate organization is Dance Sports Australia, which is also primarily a ballroom dancing organization. You following along? Despite never having anything to do with breakdancing, the Dance Sports Australia finds itself in charge of breakdancing. So they get connected with Raygun, a self-proclaimed breakdancing expert who has a PhD in breakdancing. Which is true. Because remember, Dance Sports Australia only deals with ballroom dancing. And what better way to inundate another dance form of expression than to talk to somebody with a PhD in that dance? Now it continues. It says, so they get in contact with Raygun, seen here. And Raygun knows exactly what they should do. And now, the Dance Sports Australia partners with the Australian Breakdancing Association to run those qualifications. Except the Australian Breakdancing Association was founded by Raygun and her husband. And yes, the man you see dancing right here is her husband. He's not only Raygun's husband and coach, he's also the head of the Breakdance Association in Australia.
And he's also just as bad a dancer.
Play, so you can see where Raygun got her dance moves from. So, I'm just floored at whatever this is. But surprisingly, they run a qualifier that gets 15 entries, and Raygun is selected as women's entrant, and her husband gets appointed team coach. I swear to Bob, I could not make this up. Now, after people found out that the coach of the Australian breakdance team was her husband, people started to dig up his videos and are like, he's also a terrible dancer. And now that people were able to figure out how exactly this sport got even qualified with these people, now that's why people had started a petition to not have it reappear in the 2028 Olympics. And in all honesty, would you want to see this return back to the Olympics in 2028? I didn't think so.
Well, I don't think they should throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, it did take so many years for it to finally be considered like the beautiful art that it is. And just because an attempted colonization happened, I don't think you should punish the originators. I think if anything, they should be looking for more authentic style federations from each country that haven't been colonized and cheated their way into existence by. Because that's what I got from that explanation, is that her and her husband colonized breakdancing with a ballroom Trojan horse. And then, because everybody else in the class, I guess, got told their dance moves are awesome too. Did you see the people in that cipher circling her and her husband like they're really doing something? Like, not one person was like, no, I don't think we should do this. They were like, oh yeah, that's good. That's good. You guys, it's crazy. It's crazy. I want to see real breakdancing. Did you know that there was like no black people in the freaking finals either? And did you see who won? Talk about cultural appropriation. Okay, so we did that one, and then it gets a little even stickier.
So we break dancing at the Olympics, huh? Well, how come there were no black people? Now, what exactly is this mess, child? I don't know, but shout out to Nadine Rigg for capturing this, which seems to look like somebody going into
A convulsion.
anaphylactic shock.
Yes.
Get her an EpiPen.
Get her
immediately.
something.
Now, the woman who seemed to have made it
Hope
to the
it's not
Olympic Games goes by the name of
contagious.
Raygun. She's an Australian dance breaker, and she has a PhD in cultural movement. It does look like
white cultural movement.
She is the top of her game. Now, somebody else said everybody in New York and Los Angeles realizing they've got at least 5 cousins that could have made the Olympics breakdancing team. I know about 2 partners who could do this. Now, I don't know where this lady had placed in the breakdance team, but shout out to Futuristic. They said breakdancing being in the Olympics is already insane. But the fact that there is no black people competing makes the episode of Twilight Zone. Like,
yes.
It can't be real, because where is the cultural significance to our people? Charles,
No,
somebody
leave
said
us
the
out of
Olympic
everything.
breakdancing competition were full of blank tapes and bad copies, honey. Giving the DVD man, like the one that nobody messed with because he always had like the worst copies of the movie. Now, somebody else pointed out that there's a Lithuanian by the name of Nika who was wearing a do-rag, which I'm assuming helps you with breakdancing, right? Because your head has to be smooth. And they said, gentrified Nika at the Olympics. Child, I mean, I get it. I just don't get it.
I don't get it.
So we break dancing at the Olympics.
You guys,
well,
let's see. Okay, there's more. It gets weirder. Because, is this it?
Child, finding out that this was a social experiment by the breakdancing lady at the Olympics makes the story all the more funnier. Now, shout out to Tasty Quiche over on X.
Okay.
They wrote this tweet that said, so the breakdance lady from Australia was doing the...
Okay, we saw that. But here, people are making such fun of it.
Was I ready? My understanding of musicality going into the Olympics is really strong. I have a PhD in breakdancing, and my goal was just to take the genre of hip-hop and just rub it of all its seasoning. And I did that. Next question. Criticism. I think it just comes down to sexism. Like, if I were a man going into the Olympics doing the water...
Okay. This is what, after her horrible social experiment and colonization and cultural appropriation experiment, and cheating her way into the platform, the world stage of the Olympics, instead of tell her to go sit down, this is what the send-off they gave her. I don't know if what other music is. So they like dug their heels in that she's the best. This is what a real B-boy had to say about it. Crazy legs.
All right, everybody. I thought I was going to keep this subject out of my mouth, but I'm getting a lot of people hitting me up about the girl Raygun from Australia. First, let me say, anyone on that stage is the decision and responsibility of the governing body or committee from each country. And then there's the idea that when judges should stand up and say, hey, like, this girl doesn't reach the qualifications of someone who should be performing on that level, and protect
Love you too.
hip hop culture with that statement. I don't know the girl, don't know who she is, never heard of her. I think on her part, she could have said, hey, you know what? This is out of my league. I shouldn't be on this platform. Or maybe Australia as a country should have said, hey, girl, fall back on this one because you're not ready yet. And that's legit, and that's okay.
It would have been normal.
Maybe in her mind, she's better than what she thinks. And
that's where it all starts.
That's something for her to work out on her own. Do I think she deserves the amount of criticism that she's getting?
Yes.
I don't agree with anyone dragging her. I get the funny part, in the United States,
it's not
we
funny.
are the Uber version of Live at the Apollo. You see you doing something sideways, the jokes are coming fast and hard, and they're going to sustain for a while if they're good. But then it gets to a point of like, yo, what are we really doing to homegirl on a level of like really messing with her mental health?
She messed with my mental health, by the way.
Can actually damage the girl and maybe even...
She damaged the whole Olympics. They're taking the sport of breakdancing away allegedly because of her. So what about that? I think that she should have been prepared for the backlash that she got by doing a social experiment with a whole culture on a global stage. I don't agree with him all the way.
Claude's going to do damage to herself. I'm not with that. I'm not even here to advocate for or against her.
Me neither.
I'm just saying that at the end of the day, it is whoever's in charge that allowed her to be on that stage. My personal opinion is that she never should have been on that stage. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that.
So he didn't think she should have been there. He's a real live B-boy. We already played the whole thing. We saw it from multiple angles. This is the petition they were talking about. There's literally a petition to get rid of her. Holds her accountable for unethical conduct because they faked their entry. We, the undersigned, call for an immediate accountability and transparency into the recent actions of Rachel Gunn and Anna Maris in the selection process for Australia's female breakdancer representatives in the upcoming Olympics. Oh, so this happened before she even got up there and made an ass out of herself. Rachel Gunn, who set up her own governing body for breakdancing, has manipulated the selection process to her own advantage, despite the clear talent and qualification of other outstanding female breakdancers like G. Clef, Holly Molly, and Holly Molly. They were unfairly overlooked. The NT Yoglo Boys, a group of incredibly talented, underprivileged youth from Northern Territory, were denied crucial funding by Dr. Gunn. So the doctor was withholding money from the underprivileged and made it so they couldn't even show up to the qualifiers so they could be seen and their greatness could be seen. So she could be seen as the only one. And that lady already told us she was the best Australia had to offer. Well, of course it was the best if she didn't even let the other people get on the bus to get there. When you were competing against yourself, of course you're the best, even on your worst day. A group of they were denied because she was denied funding, a decision that directly impacted their chance to showcase their skills on a national stage. Disturbingly, Dr. Gunn went to win her own qualifier, defeating other phenomenal breakdancers. Raising serious questions about the fairness and integrity process. If Dr. Gunn's husband is indeed the Australian coach and part of the selection panel, this represents a blatant conflict of interest that cannot go unchecked. Sign the petition. Okay? Hold them accountable for mocking this. Hold them accountable. It goes on, you guys. it goes on. Rachel Gunn finally broke her silence on top of it.
Hi everyone, Raygun here. I just want to start by thanking all the people who have supported me.
I think she should have started with an apology. That's what I think you should have started with, Rachel. But, yep, we entered Delulu land, Allie.
Appreciate the positivity, and I'm glad I was able to bring some joy into your lives. That's what I hoped. I didn't realize that would also open the door to so much hate, which has frankly been pretty devastating. Well, I went out there and I had fun. I did take it very seriously. I worked my butt off preparing for the...
So she worked her butt off, disenfranchising qualified breakdancers from her country of Australia. And now because people are criticizing the convulsions, and seizures that she had in public, and refusal to let somebody administer her EpiPen, now she's getting criticized for her abhorrent dancing because she made herself the winner of her own federation. And now she's upset because the rest of the world that is in Australia and is in her husband's ass sees that she doesn't have no clothes on and is gladly pointing out that you're butt naked. The emperor has no clothes on. You showed your entire ass. We all saw it. I swear you might have queefed 1 or 2 times. Those people in the front row smelt it. You dealt it. And now we're supposed to unsee what we saw. There's like a line with compassion. Literally, there's a line with compassion. You don't literally get to make a mockery, steal from valid, talented people, deem yourself the winner. And when the rest of the world sees that you are a loser, then be like, why are you calling me a loser? When you would have prepped yourself for that had you had a qualifying interaction with a real B-boy or real B-boy or B-girl from Australia. I love compassion and I love silver linings and I love second chances, but I don't like gaslighting. I don't like being manipulated. I don't like having somebody literally hawk a loogie in my face, tell me it's raining, and then when I'm wiping it off, they're crying because you have to wipe my loogie off now. And they're crying because of something they did. Without taking any accountability. She should have, if she would have started this with, I'm sorry, and then went into this, it would be one thing. But she literally starts this by thanking people for causing all this confusion and chaos and going along with it. And to the people that aren't going along with it, it really hurts.
The Olympics, and I gave my all, truly. I'm honored to have been a part of the Australian Olympic team and to be part of breaking's Olympic debut. What the other athletes have achieved has just been phenomenal. Hi everyone, Raygun here. In regards to the allegations and misinformation floating around, I'd like to ask everyone to please refer to the recent statement made by the AOC, as well as the posts on the Breaking Instagram page, as well as the WDSF Breaking for Gold page. Bit of a fun fact for you. There are actually no points in breaking. If you want to see how the judges thought I compared to my opponents, you can actually see the comparison percentages across the 5 criteria on Olympics.com. All the results are there. I'm going to be in Europe for a few weeks for some pre-planned downtime, but I'd really like to ask the press to please stop harassing my family, my friends, in regard the Australian breaking community and the broader street dance community.
In other words, don't go asking any questions that are going to get more of your questions answered, because I don't feel like answering them, because I need to go be licking my wounds someplace, because exactly, Allie. It's the victim blaming for me, acting like she and her husband didn't cheat their way to the Olympics. And now you don't want anybody looking into whether or not you literally did that. You're pointing us to the information you want us to see at 3 specific, she said, go look 3 specific places to validate her side of the story, and don't believe all the Googleable information out there.
Everyone has been through a lot as a result of this, so I ask you to please respect their privacy. I'll be happy to answer more questions on my return to Australia. Thanks, everyone.
So this is, I guess, what she was saying. Go to OS Breaking, clarification regarding the governing body for breakdancing. B-girl Raygun has been accused of setting up her own governing body using a position. It was founded in 2019 and registered as a nonprofit. It doesn't say anything in its inception, well-known. Rebranded in 2023, Constitution for the organization, original. The organization was founded by Nepalan. The committee consists of breaking representatives from every state, has been president, founding, currently still there, had many interactions, point of contact. At no point was she the founder and executive. She was not involved in any decision-making over the funding. AOC has condemned the online petition attacking her. Of course, they said she was the best they had to offer. Of course, they're going to stick by. You literally just said she was the best you had to offer. So now, of course, you're going to stick by that. The best you had to offer wasn't a plant. It wasn't a plant. It wasn't a plant. Look, it has a lot of signatures. The Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of Australia. Look how many signatures, 55,000 signatures already. We, the undersigned, call for immediately. We already looked at that. Australia must do better by its athletes to ensure principle, fairness, transparency, and integrity are upheld in all aspects of Olympic selection. I agree. That was from the Talk of Shame. Yeah, so that's crazy, you guys. That is crazy. What? Yeah, let's stop sharing that. And that's all I wanted to go over. That just that the story had developed, and that, you know, if you're going to infiltrate a thing and do a social experiment on a global stage, you might want to hide your thesis paper. And you might want to have it on video of the best break dancers in your territories that they actually competed against you for you to be deemed the best. Okay? Yeah. And if you're wrong, just say you're wrong. Just be like, I thought I could get away with it. I love breakdancing so much that I really wanted to do my best and express myself that way. Come on now. Anyway. You guys, what are your thoughts on all this craziness? What is their thoughts? I can't even believe that this happened. Yes, I can. Yes, I can, you guys. Anyway, Curvies, I just wanted to pop in with this fun video on how Raygun got dissed and how she was revealed she did a social experiment. Her whole thesis is about a social experiment in breakdancing and infiltrating the culture, pretty much, in my opinion, allegedly. Anyway, you guys go do your own research. I love you. And anybody who does want to get at me about the other stuff, get at me. You know my email. I'll see you in the next video. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, ring my bell so you can get notified. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? So go get some, because there's